Hey folks, welcome to Ask Admissions Live. My name is Jordan Stevenson. I'm the Executive Director of Admissions and New Student Programs, and we are excited to spend this Monday lunch hour with you, and we have very special guests with us today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves here in a minute, and we are talking about all things college declaration. Today is National Decision Day, so if you're out there and you're an admitted student for the fall, it's time to pick where you're going to school, and of course, we hope you pick KSU. Hooty hoo. So I'm going to pass it down the line to my special guests, let them introduce themselves, and then we're going to get right into today's special topics.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Lyon. I'm the Director of New Student Programs. Excited to see you today.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kara Ray. I'm one of the Assistant Vice Presidents for Student Affairs here, and I work with a lot of areas that have to do with engagement and belonging.
Awesome. Thanks, Kara. Thanks, Alex. I forgot, because I'm a little rusty, I haven't done this in a minute. We always do something called News from the Nest. So I'm going to give you a little bit of news from the nest, and then we'll jump into our special topic. So a little bit of news from the nest. Today is May the 1st. I already said it a minute ago. It is National College Decision Day. So if you are coming to KSU, today is the day to sign up for orientation. If you haven't done so, that is how you commit to KSU. We don't do an enrollment deposit. We wanted to remove that barrier for students and families. So a lot of schools charge a $250, $300, $400 enrollment deposit. We do not. We have an orientation fee. That's how you sign up for orientation, $75. You get to come to orientation, do everything, and sign up for classes at your orientation. So it's very important. We're going to talk about orientation today. So that's how you truly commit to KSU. Other things that are going on, you may wonder, why do I have this squishy Scrappy in my lap? One, he has become my safety blanket. So I walk around the office and hold him under my arm and stuff like that. Not really. Maybe a little bit.
Emotional support Scrappy.
Yeah, yes. ESS, Emotional Support Scrappy. We'll call him S. Yeah. Yes, okay, yes. So this special squishy Scrappy we have given out to some accepted students. We had a big accepted student night. Kara was there. It was tons of fun. Kara got to talk about flight, which we're going to talk about today as well. So we had a big event. We watched Pitch Perfect, the movie, in our football, lacrosse, and soccer stadium called Fifth Third Bank. So it was a ton of fun. We did that this past Friday. Watch out for special events like that here at KSU, whether it's coming in as an accepted student and you're attending orientation. We have special things for you leading up until the first day of class, and then really it's weeks of welcome. Student Affairs takes over with all sorts of incredible things that are happening on campus. Always watch out for these special events. How do you do it? You check your email on a daily basis. Number one rule of adulting, check your email on a daily basis. Probably not the number one rule, but we're going to say that today.
That's maybe at school.
Yeah.
School rule.
I don't know, adulting too.
I know.
Yeah.
You might
Right?
miss out on like a really great.
Yeah,
I missed like a Starbucks discount the other day.
Yeah,
like,
see, ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one to miss.
For me, yeah, that's a big deal.
That hurts.
Yeah.
You know, you're 80 years old and you're retired. You need to check your email daily. You know,
Same stuff.
Your retirement accounts and stuff like that, right? So,
Gotcha.
okay, great. You know, your doctor emails you, stuff like that. All right, so check your email. Watch out for these really cool events that are happening here at the institution. And if you're an accepted student, it's not just signing up for orientation. It's how to accept your FAFSA. It's your housing time ticket. Just had a conversation with a family this weekend about their housing time ticket. So all those kinds of things, check your email. But you may win something like this if you come to some of these special events. Matter of fact, today, real reason why I brought this, not just to play with it, is we are going to give a squishy Scrappy out to someone out there today. So you need to comment either on Facebook or on YouTube, post your declaration. So we're going through a Declaration Days competition. It was for the entire month of April. Today is the last day, ending on National College Decision Day. Declare that you're going to KSU. If you've already posted that declaration on Instagram or Twitter or something like that, you can post it here on the Facebook. And we need to know that you've signed up for orientation. So drop there your orientation date, the date that you're signed up, whether it's Kennesaw campus or Marietta campus, and then you could win this. We're going to select one person out of the chat to send this squishy Scrappy to in the mail. Or you can come pick it up in the office if you want. If you're local, we'd love to give it to you in person as well. So do that. We'll remind you here probably at the end, but post your declaration and then put in your orientation date, and we'll verify the orientation date afterwards as well. So just drop all that stuff and you could win this. Really cool. Other things going on, news from the nest. June 30th is the last day to apply to KSU for fall of 2023. So if you're out there and you still haven't made a decision on where you're going to college, you're thinking about KSU right now, maybe you're about to graduate from high school, maybe you're a future transfer student, you're trying to find your next home, we would love to have you in Owl Nation. Apply to KSU by June the 30th. Get us your supporting documents as quickly as possible. We're going to process you as quickly as possible so you can get to an orientation and then you can come in the fall. We would love to have you. If you want to keep up to date with all those kinds of things, whether it's special events, campus tours, other things that are going on, you can visit kennesaw.edu/admissions. That's your direct link to our admissions website, and you can see everything that you need to do right there. So that's my news from the nest. Awesome. All right. Awesome. So let's jump in. We've got Alex here from New Student Programs, which you out there as maybe a family, as an accepted student, can think about primarily, not solely, but primarily as orientation, because that's really your next step, the thing that you need to do. And then we have Carrie here from Student Affairs to talk about Flight in this all-encompassing program that you get to be a part of as a new student here at KSU that's going to help you engage with the institution, help you grow as a student throughout your entire time at KSU. So just so the folks out there get to know you both a little bit better, talk about, if you would, how long you've been at KSU, how you got to KSU, and maybe let's stick with those two things and then we'll touch on some other things later. That's enough.
So like I said, I'm Alex Lyon. So I've been at KSU since April of 2020. So if you think about what was happening in April 2020, things were a little weird, but it was a great transition. I'm an Atlanta native, so I have been around KSU kind of my whole life. So I'm from North Atlanta and have seen billboards, and as KSU has grown, I've sort of watched my friends go here, and as looking in higher ed, looking for a job, I thought this would be a great fit. I love working with new students and new families, and really helping you guys find your place and get all those things that you need as you're transitioning into a new campus, because I know it can be a bit overwhelming. So our team really tries to make things more digestible and simple as you're enrolling. And yeah, so it's been great. Love being at KSU. It's really cool, especially having two campuses. I feel like we have almost two universities within one. There's really something for everyone, which is great. Yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome, thank you.
And again, I'm Kara Ray. I've been here about 5.5 years, but I've worked in the university system of Georgia for almost 20 now. And so that whole time, I've really worked on opportunities for students to get involved, get engaged on the campus that they're at. And so when I came to Kennesaw, it was to build campus life programs for starters at the Marietta campus, and then I came to the Kennesaw campus. So I've always looked for ways to for students to really find their niche, to figure out what they want to do, what they want to make of their time here, and figure out their way to do that. So I've worked with programs like Scrappy's Bucket List, to have students figure out what that quintessential Kennesaw experience is for them. And then I started to build the Flight program with some different staff, and we've really built that up. You'll learn a little bit more about that in a little while, but I've always looked for ways to help students make their college experience their own, whether that's through attending a specific program or building a whole flight for themselves here. And so I've enjoyed that greatly, and I'm looking forward to telling you more about it.
Carrie, you just mentioned Scrappy's Bucket List. We just had 2 students complete the entire bucket list. I found that incredibly impressive because it was 64 items, is that right? 63. 63. To
commemorate our founding year of 1963.
Smarter than me. That's perfect. That's awesome. That's exactly what Kara has said. You know, this, whether it's Flight, whether it's Scrappy's Bucket List, whether it's our fantastic professionals that are working in student affairs and new student programs, we are here to help you transition to college, to help you engage in college. in a productive way that helps you grow and mature and prepare you for the real world. So I'm looking forward to this conversation about orientation and about flight and why we do these kinds of things. So I want to jump in and ask that very simple question. Why do students need to go to orientation? So let's start, you can answer that, and then line up, Kara, with why should students know about flight, and what should they need to know before they get here?
Yeah, so attending orientation really is your first step. It is the way that you are committing to the university, as Jordan mentioned, but it's also the way that you get all of those resources. KSU has over 42,000 students who attend it, right? So that's a lot of people, a lot of offices. Our campus is pretty big if you've never been here before, so it just can be hard to navigate as you're looking at a new campus. Even if you've taken dual enrolled courses somewhere, even if that was at KSU, we want to make sure that you're really getting connected to the things that you have access to as a student, things that your student fees even pay for, so making sure that you're participating in programs like flight, homecoming events, athletic events, anything that kind of gets you engaged. And it's also where you will register for your first semester of classes. So we want to make sure that you're connecting with your academic advising teams to start that relationship. You'll be with them the entire time that you are here with us at KSU or with that major. So just making sure that you're connected to them and then creating that course schedule so that you are prepared to come see us in the fall.
Awesome. Yeah, the transition to college, it is different than high school, right? When you think about high school, majority of our students, the courses that you take are selected for you. You know, you're on some version of a track. You have an elective or two that you can pick out. But for the most part, your classes are picked for you. The times are picked for you. And you just progress through your 4 years of high school. When you get to college, it is a lot of transition. So we have wonderful people here, like these two folks here, that help in that transition, help you take yourself to that next level of, we were just, saying earlier about adulting, this kind of Gen Z term that we've now used. And as you are adulting, right, it's how to do that right. It's how to do that the most effective way and efficient way. And so we're here to help you do that. And I think another program that stays with you your entire time at KSU is flight. So Kara, talk a little bit about how flight engages with students and why they should really be excited about joining flight.
The first thing you need to know is that you're already in it. You don't have to do anything to be in flight. So there's a lot of things called OWL and a lot of things called flight. So ours is just plain old flight. You don't have to do anything to join, fill anything out. We look at the general year your class is going to be graduating. So if you're looking at coming in as a freshman this year, you'd be in flight 27. Some of you might get there a little faster. Some of you might take a little longer, and that's okay. We're going to stick with you till you graduate. But generally, you're aiming at 2027. So you're going to be flight 27. Now, what we're going to do is really create some experiences that help you feel like you're going through these 4 or so years of college as a group. Now, you're not going to know probably all, 6, 7, 8,000 of your freshman class individually, and that's okay. You can't have that many friends. But we want you to feel some sense of going through this as a class with some camaraderie. We also want you to find your group of friends, those people that are going to be special to you. And so we're really going to try in flight to connect you to that group, to help you connect yourselves to that group, because that's really important to feel that connection to your friends, to your classmates, to your faculty, and to Kennesaw, because we know that's what's going to help you stay and what's ultimately going to help you graduate is that sense of connection. And that's why we're all here, to help you identify with that. So that's part of what we're really trying to do with flight. That's why you're going to get your jersey at orientation. That's why we're going to have some big experiences like convocation, the freshman football run out. That's also why we're going to try to communicate with you about the smaller experiences where you really can find your niche here at Kennesaw, whether that is attending a smaller program, joining a student organization, or finding an undergraduate research experience. Now, we don't do all those, but we want to help connect you to the people who do those amazing experiences that you can have here. And so we're going to be doing lots of things during the year to communicate with you about those experiences. And you'll go off and you'll probably find things we don't even know about yet, but great ways that you can connect with your peers and with Kennesaw to have that wonderful experience. It's really going to make its mark on you, and you're going to make your mark on Kennesaw.
I'm so excited about Flight 27. I mean, we've of course, internally here, we've been talking about it so much and planning and preparing. But Kara, you actually have some exciting things to give them a heads up about today. So like this jersey reveal video, would you share a little bit about that and where they can watch the video today on social media?
Well, the first thing you should do is follow us at KSU Flight on Instagram. And if you do, you'll see our jersey reveal video. You're not going to be exactly the first people to see it because those folks who came to Admitted Students Night actually got to see it. But if you do, you'll get to see it there. You'll see it at orientation as well, or a version of it. You'll get your jersey at orientation. So there's some fun things like that. We also use that social media account to communicate with students and parents. If you're watching, families, y'all can follow that as well. And we like to post things there that are relevant to each class. So as you go through your KSU career, we'll post and repost things that are marked with your class's flight logo. So you know, oh, that's for me, that's my flight year, or oh, that looks really interesting, but it's for flight 26. I'm going to keep my eye out for that when I'm a sophomore, for example.
Awesome. I know we had some excitement at the end of last week because you were passing out the flight jerseys at new student orientation. So you know, any kind of description you want to give them? Maybe they haven't seen the video yet, or they're going to check it out later. Any heads up, you know, what to watch for? What's your favorite part?
Tell you too much, but they do have a great little decoration on them. We're calling the Flight 27 patch. And they're going to be light gray. I think I can tell you that without revealing too much. But the point is, you can look around, you can see other folks wearing them and know that those are your classmates. So maybe that's a good person to introduce themselves to you. We're going to ask you to wear them to freshman convocation for your class picture, which is pretty great. It's taken by a drone that flies around the convocation center, and then you'll get to see that picture on campus all year. We're going to ask that you wear them to the run out, and then we have different events throughout the year where if you show up in your jersey, you might get an extra prize. So I'm looking down, I've looked out the window because I'm looking down at the basketball arena here, and it serves many purposes, but it is the basketball arena. And we really want to do an event during basketball season where we see who can wear their jerseys more, who can have more people in their jerseys. Flight 26 or Flight 27. So we're going to see if we can actually make that program happen this year. So you can have some friendly competition with your sophomore class.
Yes, and we are going to have a very exciting men's basketball season. We'll have a great women's basketball season as well, no doubt. But I think we're officially now like a basketball school.
I think so.
I mean, we're a football school, but we're also a basketball school. So really excited about Coach Petway coming in and what this next season holds. So yes, show up, compete, and represent your class. And these are things to get excited about. These are things that Flight is going to tell you about and keep you informed on as you're transitioning through your college journey. So let's go back to orientation really quick and talk a little bit about how should students, how do students sign up? What should they be looking for when they're looking at their dates? Orientations are different by major, so would you talk a little bit about that? Just some of the generals of what to expect. Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you go to our website, you can search orientation in the search bar, or if you go to kennesaw.edu/ I believe orientation, there is a sign up page where you can have a direct link. You will need to be fully admitted to see dates and to have access to our orientation sign up system. So if you're still in that admissions process, just give us a couple days to get that figured out. If you're receiving an error, sometimes that's why. So we need all those documents in for you to be fully accepted. Once you are accepted, you can go ahead and sign in. You'll need your net ID and password. If you have never logged in to anything KSU before, it can be a little confusing. So you'll set up your net ID, your password as a new student. There's also something called Duo Mobile, which is a second authentication that keeps all of your information secure, so you will have access to that. But once you are in, it's a pretty easy process. You fill out your personal information, we confirm your major, because orientation sessions are provided based on major, which is also showing you which campus you should be on. So our engineering, architecture, computer science majors are primarily on the Marietta campus. And then I kind of reference it as more liberal arts, like your humanities, Wellstar School of Nursing, Coles College of Business. That would be on the Kennesaw campus. Our sign-up system is going to automatically show you dates based on your campus. It also is showing you dates based on availability for your major. So at orientation, you'll register for your first semester of classes, and you do that in a computer lab with your academic advising teams. So we have set our sign-up system to make sure that every student who's attending has a seat in the advising lab, and that our advising teams can work with you directly, that you have enough time to work with them during that registration time. So that is why you might see a cap. We are filling up rather quickly as we are approaching the summer. I have Justin Timberlake's face in my brain. It's going to be May. It is May. Right? As a millennial, had to give a shout out.
Yep, nice. Well played.
Love it.
Yep.
So now that we are in May, our dates really are becoming a little bit more limited, but we do have dates still in June for both campuses. You will also see dates in July. Sometimes our students are seeing dates a bit later. Our dates are listed on the website. You might see something later in June. Collective deep breath. I promise there will be classes to register for. Your advising teams will work with you on that. Those who have an earlier date, the benefit is that you just have more options for classes. But as Kara mentioned, we have thousands of first years that come in, which means that we have seats available in those classes. We know that you have to take your kind of general education classes, those math, those English courses to progress you towards your major. So we have planned for that, and those academic advising teams are helpful to get you in to make a schedule that works for you. And I always kind of talk to students about life is long, right? So you need about 120 credits to graduate. Even if you're coming in with dual enrolled credits or as a transfer student, you still got some wiggle room. So even if that perfect math class you might be on the wait list for that, often you can get courses that you would like to, even if you're attending in July. So it's not a problem if you attend later. We always recommend attending earlier. It just helps, honestly, for peace of mind. For me, going to orientation, feeling you check that off your list, you have that course schedule, you've learned about those resources, you're getting ready maybe to move into housing, one less thing to worry about. It also kind of turns on different things like your billing. If you do not have a schedule yet, you might not see a bill. Financial aid, things like that are affected by having a course schedule. So it's always good to come in and get that schedule loaded. You can also add a guest. I talked about that as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you get to bring one guest with you to orientation. We get questions about if you want to bring an additional guest. We will try to accommodate additional guests at the event, but when you're signing up, you can only sign up one. That is mostly for space. So I mentioned those registration labs. We're really, on this campus, we try to see as many students as we can to make sure that we are welcoming this class reasonably. So for things like the dining hall flow, parking, we want to make sure that we have enough resources and materials for everyone, so you are limited. But if you have questions about that, you can always email us. If you're receiving an error, you can always email us, and that's just ksuorientation@kennesaw.edu. Best way to get in touch with us if you have any questions.
I like that. I like to thank you for sharing that with folks. When I went to college eons ago, my mom really wanted to go to orientation with me, but she also knew that if she did go, she would just be crying buckets the whole time. So she sent my dad,
Nice.
which was very smart, because my dad, very pragmatic, right? Just wanted to make sure I understood what was going on, and then he wanted to pay attention to all the important things like billing.
I was the opposite. So I'm the youngest, and my parents were like, "Can't your sister go with you?"
Oh wow! You had the sister supporter.
Which she did, and we walked around campus.
There
And it was
you go.
great. There you go.
Yeah.
My big sister took me.
Oh, lucky you.
There is a guest fee. Sometimes we get questions about what does that cover. So that is our guest materials. We have giveaways and things like that for you, and it covers your lunch. So any additional guests would be $20 to attend. So in addition to that $75, $20 fee.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yep.
You get to
Their
eat
lunch is good,
in the
and it's in the
Commons or
dining hall.
Stingers. Oh, buddy. Stingers showed up on Friday.
yeah.
We had incredible food. Right, Kara? Right.
Very good.
Yes. So, okay, great.
Award-winning.
These are good things. There was something I was thinking about. Now I just blanked on it. It was something with orientation. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm back. Haha. So one of the things that Alex and her staff have improved upon, done so well, is increasing the efficiency. When she talked about majors and doing orientation by major, that's a benefit to you. So if you're out there, like she mentioned, you're a business major, a nursing major, or engineering major, so that we don't have an orientation session that's overloaded. Just if it were wide open for any major to register for, that we would have 400 nursing majors in one session, and then you would not get the experience that you expect to have. We have a saying around here where we roll out the gold carpet, because it's not a red carpet, right? We're a black and gold school. We roll out the gold carpet for you. Even with 43,000 plus students, we are trying to personalize each and every event that we do, every experience that you have, because we are a student-centered institution. We are focused on you as the student and focused on ways to help you be successful. So things like even being creative with orientation, using technology at our fingertips, and being able to create all of these different orientation sessions in a way that maximizes your experience. They've done a great job of that. I'm looking forward to all of our fall orientations that will happen this summer, because this way of doing it's working really well, and I think you're all going to enjoy the experience also. And when you come to orientation, you get some fun stuff.
Yeah.
You get to interact with all our awesome student affairs folks. You get to meet your future peers and our orientation leaders, all sorts of cool people that are here at the institution that are here to help you. And then we have some really nice giveaways. So I'm going to tease it a little bit, okay? You okay with that?
Yeah,
All
and
right.
the Y2K theme I think is also that's a reveal. So we are themed just like open house. I'm super excited. It is like late 90s into the early 2000s themed. So
I just had a conversation. It's funny that you said Y2K. I had a conversation with some students the other day, like 17, 18-year-olds, about what was it like to live through Y2K.
we thought all the planes would not be in the
That's
sky.
right. That's right. All of a sudden,
basically is the gist.
none of the ATMs would work.
Yes, because of the zeros.
You would have no money. I told these students that asked me what was it like. I said, well, my parents decided that was the night they were going to go and actually celebrate New Year's Eve. And left me at home as the eldest child with my two younger siblings. My youngest sibling wasn't even born yet. We have a big distance in our age range. So they left me at home, and my dad told me where he hid cash.
Sure.
Because just in case the world blew up.
It was weird.
So which honestly, cash would be worthless at that point. But he worked in banking, and so he was like, yeah, the systems might not work. Yeah. But here's where I hid the cash. And I was like, okay, well, good to know. Yeah. And I just watched the TV. My siblings were asleep.
Everything turned
over. It was good. It was
good. For those of us in the parent and family session at orientation, it's a good nostalgia trip as well.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, it is a lot of fun, right? This theme, the whole like late 90s Y2K theme, the playlist, which is fantastic, by the way. Poppin', yes. Yeah, it's gonna be me. Definitely in that.
Featuring.
Featuring Justin Timberlake and a lot of Britney Spears and other things. Yep. So this is a cool giveaway, but when you come to orientation, we have, in my opinion, as wonderful as this is lovely and wonderful, we have a really special, awesome giveaway for you that every student that comes is going to get to take home. So I'm not going to tease it any more than that. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to come to orientation. One, it's mandatory. So you have to come to orientation, and it's going to be something that you're going to cherish for the rest of your time, the rest of your life, like for reals. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's super nice. It's the nicest thing I've ever been a part of in my 17 years in higher education of giving away to students. So you got to come to New Student Orientation to get this super nice giveaway. Plus, you get your flight jersey there as well. So you're going to leave with like arms full of stuff.
Yep.
And plus a full belly and a good time.
Yep.
So, Carol, would you share a little bit about what students learn, like how flight is introduced to students at orientation as well? So when they come to orientation, other than getting their jersey, both for the students and for the parents or supporters, what are they going to learn about?
Sure. So Families, you're going to get to spend some time with one of my colleagues, Sharon Brownlow, and we do a great supporter session where you're going to learn a lot about the things you can do to help your student be successful. So we talk a little bit about it there. And then all of you meet back up for the end of the day for our Joining Al Nation session, which we've developed. My colleagues and I and the leadership team of Student Affairs, we've developed an awesome session that we wrap up the day with, where we teach some different cheers and chants, and we really want to bring you into the community of owls. I think is really what we focused on, and we focused on how we want you to feel at the end of the day, happy, excited to be becoming an owl, like you've learned a lot, but also like you're really part of a community. I think that's one of the most important things that we do here at Kennesaw State is form that community. And so we're going to spend that last half hour of the kind of official in-session day celebrating that community, talking about flight, talking about what it is, talking about some important things to remember that you're going to do as soon as you come back to be with us in the fall. And you're going to meet some excellent colleagues from the other AVPs. As the summer goes on, you'll also meet some of our staff who work directly with students, as well as staff who plan some of the larger scale programs and initiatives that we have going on here to build that community. So we do that, and then we go into the more choose your own adventure portion of the day, where you pick up your flight jersey and do some other things as well. But that's really the session that we've developed to explain flight, to teach you about some of our traditions here, and to welcome you into that community.
Nice. Kara, we talked a little bit earlier, you mentioned it a little bit earlier about convocation, and I want to touch on that because I think it's so important. One, as a community building piece where all of our new students are showing up in their flight jerseys. They get to see their deans and the cabinet and folks like you in flight jerseys. So it's a lot of fun, right? And everybody's involved. And then a very special event that happens after convocation. So I want to make sure students out there know what it is, because convocation is a very higher edy term,
yes.
right? Yeah, very almost like provost and commencement and
One of our favorite words.
registrar, bursar.
Yeah.
So do you feel comfortable talking a little bit about like what is convocation?
Sure. So it sounds really serious, but it's not. So we're going to be in the Convocation Center, which is also our basketball arena, if that helps you picture it a little bit better. But just really our giant meeting center. So we want you to wear that flight jersey. If for some reason you don't have it, I do plan to be outside with them. If for some reason that doesn't work, wear something Kennesaw. Don't miss it because you don't have your jersey. But we're all going to meet up in our big arena. There's going to be music, there's going to be noise, there's going to be cheering. There are going to be a few serious speeches, but they'll be short because we do want to formally welcome you into our community. And so we do want to have some really high-ranking people welcome you into the community. So you are going to meet people like our president, like our provost, which is our chief academic officer. You're going to meet my boss, the vice president for student affairs. You're going to hear our band play. You're going to meet some of our athletes and our coaches and our cheerleaders. And we're going to have a big time in our Convocation Center, welcoming you to our community formally, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So bring yourselves. It is for our first year students, which is why we call it first year convocation. And then you're going to exit onto the green. Oh, we're going to take our class picture as well, which I mentioned earlier. So that's really important. I was just in the student center on this campus, on the Kennesaw campus on Saturday, and I found a whole family of students looking at this giant picture and finding themselves and like showing their relatives who were here visiting where they were, and you know their faces were like this big, but they found themselves in the giant picture, and it was really one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time, getting to see these students getting excited about their picture. Nice. So we did that, and then we'll all exit onto the campus green, and we will have a big splash bash with. Last year there was an inflatable shark that people could ride, so which is probably one of my favorite things. It was goofy, but it was fun. Cool. And we'll have rides, we'll have games, we'll have food. We're also going to have folks from all the different colleges out there wanting to connect with you, and from some of the different resources. So we'll have a little bit of serious stuff as well, because that's an important part of our community as well. All of us who are here to support you and help you be successful in your career here with us. And so we're going to have a lot of fun. Actually, that whole weekend's going to be a lot of fun. Alex and I are on a committee. We're planning some events that whole weekend. weekend leading up to it, so you are not going to be bored the weekend before classes start. We've taken care of that already. We're going to have movie nights, and campus will be open, but that Sunday before classes start, the convocation and then the splash bash afterwards, where it's at, so don't miss it.
The bookends is sort of how I look at it. Like a commencement is the end.
Convocation
is the beginning. So if you're
come celebrate with us.
That's right. Yeah, it's almost like that Sunday convocation is really the start
really
of the semester. It's really the start of your KSU journey. After you move in, or even if you're local, we want to have you on campus. So come on to campus on that Sunday. Join in on convocation, splash bash afterwards. Talk to maybe a professor or a dean that's there that day as well to get prepared for the week. It's a great way to launch your KSU experience.
Another reason to check your email and follow us on the socials, and the algorithms will take care of you. If you follow Flight, if you follow one of the orientation or admissions accounts, you're going to get the other ones. Follow all of us, and you'll get all the publicity about this weekend.
Love it, love it. Doing good? Okay. So I do want to wrap this up with hit the folks out there with your Instagram handles again, just so they know where to go, so that the algorithms can do their job and they can stay connected to us. Because like you just said, Kara, not just email, it's social media. There's all sorts of ways to find out information today. And we try to post and send emails and text and do it all, right? Just so you're gonna catch it somewhere. If you're not checking your email, you're going to get a text about it, or you're going to see it on social media, things like that. So hit them with the socials.
At KSU Flight on Instagram.
Easy peasy.
Ours is at KSU Orientation, or if you follow the admissions account, often we will repost, and they will repost things from us. As new students, we try to collaborate a lot to make sure that all that info is getting to you.
Yeah. We're all a tight team. We all follow each other's and share each other's posts and work collaboratively in the social media world. So y'all have been fantastic guests. Always so easy to work with both of you. So I really appreciate you both and your departments. And I always like to ask my guests, what's one last piece of advice you want to give the students, or maybe it's directed at the supporters that are out there? What's one last thing you want to say as we close out this Ask Admissions Live? Heavy.
I think you said it earlier, actually, as part of a sentence in passing. Show up. Whether it's showing up to class, showing up to an event, even if you don't know if you're going to have fun or not, just show up. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. That is like 95% of life is just showing up. 100%.
So a lot of people say life is short. I prefer to say life is long. So as you are entering this experience, you've got potentially 4 years to figure out what major you'd like to be in. Maybe you have an idea that may shift, but just be open to new experiences. Be open to going to the dining hall. If you see someone sitting alone, they're wearing a band t-shirt that you like, go have lunch with them. Just try to take in these experiences. As you're wrapping up that high school experience, it can feel a little strange. Like, I think we mentioned this, you've had kind of things planned out, and now you are embarking on this new journey. So just opening yourself up to joining different organizations, going to as many events as you can, and just letting the process roll. Sometimes we have students who are, it's like they want it to just be August so that they can go ahead and get started. Try to enjoy the process as much as you can. That really does help our students transition to just, I promise it'll be okay. We've got fabulous teams on both of our campuses who are really excited to help you. So if you're struggling with anything, I promise it will all get worked out.
These are awesome pieces of advice. Show up, trust the process, right? My piece of advice is gonna be focus on your academics. It's both of those things. It's very simple, really, but the majority of our bachelor's degrees and bachelor's degrees out there, period, take 120 credit hours. If you focus on your academics and prioritize academics over everything else, that includes your job. And I understand so many of our students need to work to be able to live and be able to pay their bills. But put academics still above work, because I would hate for you to prioritize work and not academics. You delay your time to degree. That means delaying time to earning your bachelor's degree. It means delaying your future earning potential. It means keeping you from making a salaried wage instead of your hourly wage, things like that. So focus on your academics, because ultimately that's why else are you going to college? Yes, college is about a lot of things, but you are here for academic purposes first and foremost, for you to continue in your education. So focus on your academics, and a lot of that is signing up for 15 credit hours per semester, fall and spring. If you do that, and you do that 8 times, you have 120 credit hours. And most likely, your degree program is one of those 120 credit hour degree programs, and you graduate, and it's pretty awesome. So
it's about to happen. We're excited because commencement's next week, and that's
right.
also a party.
Always an exciting time.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Through one of those offices called the registrar.
Yeah.
Yeah, another funky, well, it's really a whole university thing, but the registrar verifies that you can graduate. So awesome. Great pieces of advice, folks. Thank y'all so much for joining us today. Want to again remind folks, check out the comments, post about your declaration and your orientation date, and you can win this scrappy squishy. So really cool. Look forward to orientation. So if you're one of those students that hasn't signed up for orientation yet, or you're one of those parents or supporters that's out there, remind your student, check your Kennesaw email. I haven't heard, this is, sorry, I'm going to be my mom. I haven't heard you say anything about orientation yet. All of these wonderful people said you should have heard something. Can I see your email? Just get the help that you need. My mom doesn't talk like that. She talks probably more like me. Just slightly higher voice, but otherwise pretty much the same. So check your email, sign up for orientation if you haven't done it yet, and then look forward to participating in flight. You're already in it, as Kara said. It's automatic, so that's great. It's not like Costco membership. You're in it. Don't have to pay anything extra. It's what you're doing, and then just look forward to engaging when you get here to Kennesaw State University. So we always like to close out with owl eyes and a hooty hoo. Will you do it with me?
Of course.
All right, here we go. Hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo.